Welcome to Centennial Sports TV.
Today on Centennial Sports TV, Central Tech stomps in the mud.
College basketball hopefuls try out for the Centennial Colts.
And our own Josh Lewinberg takes to the streets.
CSTV starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Centennial Sports TV. My name is Aaron Korolnik and I'm joined by the finest Greek product, aside from tzatziki, in Peter Chisapis.
Wow, thanks, bud. But I think you are overlooking Kalamata olives and, of course, ouzo. Both important components of my pre-show ritual.
I don't know. I think ouzo is a little overrated, but you know who's not overrated, Peter? A young football prodigy from Central Tech by the name of Jamal Wonderwall Borland, who exists in our own backyard. Today is going to be the day where we show his highlights to you. Orland Central Tech Blues taking on the East York Goliaths. Goliaths in the season opener for both squads, already up 7-0 on a Borland touchdown score. The Blues' senior runner takes a handoff to the left and bounces off a bunch of tackles before scoring. With 6 minutes left in the second quarter, Borland again to the left, a mean stiff arm and a truck stick of epic proportions right there, trotting into the end zone, giving the Blues a 21-0 lead. His teammates are clearly appreciative of his immense efforts, but the Goliaths, not so much. Meanwhile, the East York offense looking as potent as Hugh Hefner without his Cialis. Certainly not a golden arm as the Goliaths remain scoreless. After gashing the Goliaths for 200 yards and 3 TDs last year, Borland looking to continue his dominant performance. And a memo to the Goliaths, don't let this man run to the left side. Borland was simply a man possessed on this day like a young Sean Alexander, his 4th touchdown of the afternoon before the half. Not a good look for the Goliaths, and perhaps it's time for them to change their name to the Davids, down 28-0 at the half. Start the third quarter, you guessed it. I'm running out of superlatives to describe this dynamo. Jamal continues to run the show single-handedly, slicing and dicing, bruising and cruising through the pitiful defense of East York. In a league of his own is Borland. Finally, Borland with a goal line carry and is able to punch it in to seal the deal for Central Tech. Borland a little slow to get up, but he was probably just tired after carrying his team for the entire game. That score should read Jamal Borland 40, East York 0.
The Leaside Lancers are looking to build on their Metro Bowl appearance from last season as they open the 2011 campaign with a home game against the Lawrence Park Panthers. Early in the game here, and the Panthers' offense not looking in sync as Leaside's Jason McDonald picks off the pass and returns it all the way back to the Panthers' 20-yard line. Great field position here for the Lancers. But it's not just Lawrence Park's offense that's sloppy, as on the very next play, Dan Giacomello puts it in the defender's hands, and the Panthers get the ball right back on Leaside's 40-yard line. Clearly, both teams are still trying to shake off the rust as the first half was scoreless. Things still not clicking here for the Panthers as they fumble the handoff, and the Lancers recover the ball. Leaside then appears to have broken the scoreless tie as Giacomello finds Adam Huckle in the end zone. But it was called incomplete by the official. As you see here in the replay, it looks as though he got it. You be the judge, folks. Leaside would end up scoring a rouge on third down and taking the 1-0 lead. Next drive, the Lancers offense seems to be getting it going as Giacomello finds Mark Williams. He fights for the extra yards and gets down to the 10-yard line. A couple plays later, Jay Yee runs it in for the first touchdown of the game to make it 7-0, but that's where it would stay, as here the extra point would be blocked on a diving effort from the Lawrence Park defender. Now, fast forward to late in the game. The Panthers are trying to tie it up, but apparently they don't feel like blocking today as 5 Leaside defenders chase down the quarterback, force him out of bounds. Last chance here, and they opt for the 2-yard pass, which obviously would not be enough, and they turn the ball over. Giacomello would take the knee to give Leaside the 7-0 win and the 1-0 start to the season. The shutout had to make Chubave, defensive coordinator, happy.
The first win sort of sets the momentum for the rest of the year, and it's an uphill battle if you start off the season without a win. and it's a good momentum starter, but it only gets tougher as the season goes along, and we've got to keep on winning football games if we want to reach our ultimate goal of winning a Metro Bowl championship.
Sticking with Leaside football, their defense must have been glad to have senior linebacker Sean Ryan back in the fold. And now, with the story, the man who saw Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and thought, that's the look for me. I present Josh Lewinberg.
Ready, begin! 1, 2.
In the 2010 season, linebacker Sean Ryan helped lead the Leaside Lancers to the city finals, their best run in school history.
Just to be able to make it that far with such a small school compared to the guys we were going up against, and to make it that far, it was like really big for the team.
Unfortunately for number 55, his run was cut short when he was injured in the semi-final game against Agincourt Collegiate.
Oh, well, it was just pretty standard outside run play. I was chasing the quarterback, and a receiver coming back the other way caught me with a blind side. It was a legal hit. It was just unfortunate the way it went down, and it was scary for me a little bit. Blacked out on the field and suffered a major concussion.
Due to his injury, Sean would be forced out of the city finals game against Richview, and Leaside would go on to lose 16-14.
With the injury in his rearview mirror, Sean is ready to put last season behind him and move forward, building off of his victory in Week 1.
Big win yesterday against Lawrence. First game, I was a little nervous going in, just hadn't done contact in a while, and to get that out of the way with no problems and no complications, just it's a weight off the shoulders.
He didn't look hesitant at all. He was playing the game at full speed, which is a good sign to see.
Sean's return to the Lancers marks a fresh start to the season and a new role within the team.
He's a team captain. I expect him to be a leader. I expect him to be a person that takes control of situations and makes plays on the football field and does his job.
With the first win under their belt, the Lancers are hungry for a return to the big game.
Of course, our goal is to make the playoffs. First and foremost, is to make the playoffs. So that's our goal right now. And if we get to that second season and get into that tournament, we'll do the best we can to try to get as far as we can.
Our overall goal would be to get to the Metro Bowl. We know that this group this year isn't the same as last year. We're a whole new group of guys, but that doesn't mean we can't do the same thing.
The Lancers have a lot to live up to this season, and there's plenty expected of the young Sean Ryan. But the captain won't shy away from the challenge, and he'll face plenty of them heading into a long and arduous season. With Centennial Sports TV, I'm Josh Lewinberg.
It's good to see Sean back with his team, and good luck from all of us here at CSTV with the 2011 campaign. With the 2011 hockey season around the corner, the lack of ice time in Central Toronto is an increasing concern to local political figures and hockey parents alike. The community of Leaside is looking to build a second ice surface at Memorial Gardens Arena with the goal of significantly increasing the available ice time. The cost of the expansion is estimated to be close to $10 million, with the City of Toronto agreeing to finance up to $7 million. The community itself has already raised $1.5 million and is continuing in its effort to begin construction in the spring. Next up on the show, Giannis David Bunkus takes a look at the East York Soccer Club and their involvement with the neighborhood.
I'm here at Dieppe Park Sports Complex, home of the East York Soccer Club. Now in its 35th year, the organization has become a haven for young soccer talent that has enjoyed various success at the international and national level. While wins on the field are not to be understated, its contributions off the pitch have established them as a fixture in the community.
In 1977, Dragon Zagar became president of the East York Soccer Club, taking over a small city-run program.
Well, originally it was run by Parks and Rec, which they have maybe 60, 70 kids in the program. Nothing like really organized. From 100 kids that we started the club 35 years ago, we ended up having 2,500 kids. And that was a big improvement and showing the community that we are here and we're here to promote soccer.
Men's U16 head coach Bert Lobo has been with the club 26 years now and believes a stable environment has been key to their growth.
consistency of the executive and the individuals that have been around. I spoke to a chap this afternoon. I just happened to be in the club office, and we're just reminiscing about a variety of events over the past number of years. Going to other clubs, there's a lot of turnover. I've had opportunities presented to me to join other clubs. East York is where I am.
Another constant for the club has been their active involvement in the East York community.
Donate funds in the school needed. We donate any equipment the school needed. We always get involved in the fundraising, and we try to work together with the schools. Working together with our community and our schools, and is for both of us benefit.
This strong commitment to community involvement has been integral to the club's success.
I think that's why we have a lot of them now returning to help coach, and maybe they've got kids, maybe they don't have kids, but they're still coming back.
The most important thing is this club, how it's developed, is based on the volunteers. We have one of the greatest groups of volunteers, and that's why we have such a success.
The organization's efforts haven't been limited to East York, as they've made numerous equipment donations to regions in Africa. For members of this growing team, success both on and off the field is the ultimate goal. From CSTV, I'm Giannis David Bunkus.
"35 years of giving back to the community. It's very noble."
Coming up after the break, the senior boys volleyball champs open their season.
Balmy Beach Rugby Club fights for an undefeated year up at Fletcher's Fields.
And this guy flips for Josh Lewinberg.
Hurry! Hard, 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 hard! Hard, 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 hard! Hurry!
Can't get enough sports?
Why not make it a career?
The sports journalism program at Centennial College gives you the foundation to work at a job you'll actually enjoy.
Join the list of graduates currently working for the CBC,
Rogers Sportsnet,
The Score,
ESPN,
The National Post, and many more.
Register today.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. Josh Lewinberg and his goatee are back to talk to students at York and U of T about their respective football teams.
Much like today's weather, the York and U of T football programs have been rather gloomy over the last decade. But for the first time in nearly 10 years, both teams won on the same week. I took to the campus here at York University and U of T to find out what the students have to say, and if they think this could be a turning point in their schools. We're going to be talking about the York Lions today. Are you familiar with the Lions?
Not really. I mean, I know football, but I don't really know the Lions that well.
Honestly, I've never heard of it before. I've never seen a game.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't think we have a football team?
Oh, what have you heard about them?
They suck.
Okay, well, that's pretty fair. So let's say, hypothetically, that this is a turning point, that they're good now. Would you go see a game?
I would love to go see a game.
You just need to know about it, right?
I just need to know. I've gone to Waterloo games, Guelph games, but I've never gone to York games, and I go to York.
The first time both Toronto schools win in 10 years. That's what the spark they needed, and I feel like they should just pick that up and run with it.
Probably not. Football has never really been a big sport of mine, but I do hope that they are doing better because, it's a whole matter of school pride, us doing well against other schools.
I've never seen any posters, maybe anything like that. If they did any advertising at all, it would make a difference.
Starting off with publicity, like in the York paper, would help. I think even posters, banners up around the school. I don't actually hear, unless you're over on the athletic side, you don't actually hear much about any of the sports teams.
Well, I think a lot of sports teams, when you get a lot of people together and they're all cheering for the same team, it really does help everyone kind of come together as a community.
If they turn things around, will you be interested? Would you go and watch them? Would you consider it?
Maybe, possibly. I'm not really into football, but I like using the athletic field.
Do you do a lot of extracurricular stuff here at York?
Oh yeah, actually, would you like to see something real fast?
I'd love to. Not bad. So I guess the old adage is true. If you build it, they will come. And although both the York and U of T football teams may be starting to turn the corner, until they market their teams better throughout their campuses, they may struggle to gain interest. With Centennial Sports TV, I'm Josh Lewinberg.
Peter, did you know that over this past weekend, U of T and York lost by a combined score of 104-3? No amount of marketing can help that, right?
Maybe they should take some notes from Balmy Beach Rugby. They were 13-0 going into Saturday's final regular season game. Perfect seasons are obviously not easy to come by, but in Ontario Rugby Union action, Balmy Beach is looking to finish the campaign undefeated as they travel to Fletcher's Field in Markham to take on the Irish. Lots of scoring in this one, so let's get right to it. Balmy Beach actually trailed 5-0 early on as they kick the ball into the end zone, and the chase is on, but the Irish just make it there first, and Markham retain their lead. Then, minutes later, 8-man Mittler is able to pick up the ball out of the scrum, and the big man would shake a tackle, apply a stiff arm, and rumble in for the try. The conversion was good. Balmy Beach led 7-5. After Beach went up 14-5, Irish fullback Matt Ragusi shows us his best Jackie Joyner-Kersey impression as he hurdles a defender and runs in for the score. He converted his own kick even, and Markham was only down by 2. Fast forward to near the end of the half now. Beach pressing again, and starting prop Ryan McAndrew dives into the end zone to increase Beach's lead to 21-12. The Irish would add a penalty kick to make it 21-15 at the half. More of the same from Balmy Beach in the second half as they would come out of this little midfield Royal Rumble with the ball and get it out to Steve McDonald, who streaks down the wing, and it's just him versus Ragusi one-on-one, who he beats to the corner for a try. There was some controversy over whether or not he had possession, but after a meeting, the refs awarded Beach the 5 points, increasing their lead to 29-15, much to the satisfaction of Mr. McDonald here. Nearing the end of the game now, tempers flare as a fight breaks out on the right side of your screen between Hank McQueen and Irish flanker Mark Thompson. Boys will be boys, as they say. Nothing but a little pushing and shoving, but it was enough to earn McQueen a trip to the sin bin. Balmy Beach would add another try and conversion to take the game by a final score of 36-15, finishing the season with an impressive 14-0 record and securing a first-round bye and home field advantage in the playoffs.
We started out with a good run of wins in a row, and once it got going, then they started getting more focused on trying to keep that streak alive. And you just saw it. We just finished off an unbeaten season.
We got a first-round bye because we obviously finished first in our league. So we have a bye next week, and then Thanksgiving week, and then 3 to win the cup. So we've secured home field advantage for the quarters and semis at Tubbs and G. Gage Field, which is our home field on Lakeshore.
Some teams see it as a disadvantage, taking a couple weeks off. I get a bit rusty, but just try to keep our training sharp and show up rolling for the playoffs, take it one game at a time. That's all it is.
To volleyball now, and the Danforth Redhawks senior boys volleyball team looking for their 3rd straight regional title this year. Facing off against the East York Goliaths in the Redhawks home opener. Danforth has only 3 members remaining from last year's squad, so will need some big contributions from those graduating up from the junior team. First set action now, and the Redhawks looking good early as Connor O'Brien sets up the big baller Aiden Hazlitt for the hammer down. Next, O'Brien hooks up Andy Fan for a nice smash, and here's Hazlitt again with a thunderous serve. Finally, the team captain Hazlitt showing off his mad hops and spiking ability, crushing another one. East York looking to strike back now, but they are denied at the net, but somehow recover to win the point, tapping it over the attempted block. Finally, the Goliaths serving on game point, but it's hit directly into the net as Danforth takes the first set 25-19. Second set now with O'Brien on serve and an impressive rally from both sides as East York is able to get the ball back into Redhawks court, but they're unable to put together a monstrous smash here from number 10 of the Redhawks. And how about another one for good measure? Hazlitt is just a dominant force in this one, and he continues to abuse East York. On set point now, Danforth serving to take a 2-0 lead, and some intense net play shows the lack of finish from the Goliaths. And the Redhawks set it up yet again, and after a very weak effort from the Goliaths coming up right here, it's a final of 25-10 in the second set. Third set action now, and wow, look at Hazlitt. He is the total package. Look at that upper body. And it's handshakes now as Danforth is looking great in their pursuit of a third straight GDSB regional title in their season opener, dismantling their East York counterparts by a score of 3-0. Centennial College is on the verge of opening its new athletic and wellness center as construction of the state-of-the-art facility is set to wrap up before the new year. Housed out of the Progress campus, the AWC will boast a new gymnasium, climbing wall, and a wellness treatment center. Aside from offering top-notch athletic facilities, plans also include the addition of some high-tech window dressing, including a vast array of flat-screen televisions throughout the building. Students from all campuses are reminded that they are welcome to come and enjoy the AWC once it is unveiled. Now, former Waterloo Warrior star center and all-time block shots leader Matt Hayes reports on the Centennial Colts basketball tryouts.
I'm here at the brand new Athletic Wellness Center at the Progress campus at Centennial College, where behind me, a host of young men are vying for a spot on the senior men's varsity basketball team.
The men's basketball team wants to forget last season as quickly as possible. The undersized, inexperienced Colts finished with a 7-13 record and missed the postseason. This year's team is full of optimism as they have a new home and a number of new faces on the roster. Third-year head coach Jim Barkley is excited about his new crop of talent.
Tristan Stern has been working for the last couple of years. He's a 6'6" kid who went to school in Whitby, who can really jump and has got a lot of potential. Theon Reefer could be one of the most talented guys in the league.
Second-year guard Kalani George spoke out about the most significant change in this year's team.
It's a lot bigger. We're a lot bigger. Last year we had like a lot of guards. So this we're a lot of bigger, throw down the post a lot more, establish a threat.
Coach Barkley has set a lofty goal for a team that has never seen the postseason during his short tenure.
Oh, you know, if things come together with the talent we have, I mean, we should be fighting for the championship. Anything short of a deep run in the playoffs would be a real disappointment.
The Colts' first regular season game is on November 2nd at home against the Durham Lords. This will be a solid test for the Colts as the Lords made it to the quarterfinals of last year's OCAA playoffs.
Reporting from Scarborough for Centennial Sports TV, I'm Matt Hayes.
So, Chassie, did you try out for the basketball team, or is your hernia still an issue?
Actually, the hernia is all healed up, thanks for asking. And no, I'm actually too busy training to smash you in our upcoming tennis match.
I regret to inform you, Mr. Chisapis, that many have referred to me as a young Murat Safin.
Yeah, more like Martina Hingis.
Touché. Well, that's all the show we have for you this week.
Good night, and thank you for watching.